I'm Maura Carley, founder and president of Healthcare Navigation, and today I'm going to talk about the individual health insurance marketplace, but just an introduction to it. I'm sure we'll have more to add as we learn more once we get into November 1st, which is the beginning of the era where one can apply for individual coverage for January 1. The individual options available often disappoint people who've been used to very rich group coverage with a national network and an in and out of network benefit. But the fact is that you need to deal with reality when you're shopping for individual insurance. We will still get people saying, I don't want any of those Obamacare plans. And the fact is, you do. The only way you want to shop for coverage as an individual is if you believe you're eligible for a premium tax credit through healthcare.gov or a state-based marketplace or exchange. And you can always go to healthcare.gov and put in your zip code and find out if your state has its own state-based exchange. You need to buy coverage that way in order to get the subsidy. If you're not an individual who's going to be subsidized, then you have the option of buying a product directly from the insurance company. And you can do that with the help of a broker or an organization like ours, or you can do it on your own. But that's a private transaction directly with an insurance company selling individual coverage. And you want one that's been approved by your state insurance department. There are so many scamsters out there. And I had someone telling me the other day she had shopped on Obamacare.com, and there is no legitimate site where one can buy plans named Obamacare.com. We know the networks can disappoint if you're used to much more choice. They can be local or regional or even very narrow with respect to hospital options. But that's how you need to start your search, looking for the best matches between the plans available and your doctors and your preferred hospitals. Now, states are very different, so you can't assume that New York is like Florida, and you should be looking for coverage in the state you consider your primary residence. And you must shop for that coverage if you're going on the marketplace. There will be a problem if your residence is Connecticut and you think you can shop for coverage through another portal other than Access Health CT. We've talked before about Christian plans. They were allowed by the Affordable Care Act, but we don't think they are wise. They're not really insurance, and we are now dealing with someone who needed coverage through one that has now filed for bankruptcy. So the claims are in dispute. It's just not what you want to deal with. So even though you may be disappointed with your options in the individual market, that's where you need to shop. And scamsters do abound. Just do not go there. It is very unwise. The actual open enrollment period is going to be longer this year than it was last year. although Biden, when he came in, extended the open enrollment period. But check with your state, because the states that have their own state-based exchanges or marketplaces, those are synonymous terms, can extend, and several have every year. Other states have done it once they've actually reached the point where it was supposed to end and they extended. But you know what? I don't even want to go there. People who want coverage in place January 1 should be working diligently in November to determine the best options and submitting an application no later than the first week in December, because you want your new cards. You want your new cards. No question about it. And people are so anxious. And again, even if you're working with someone else, you want to stay on top of this. And if you had a plan before and you think it's going to roll over, you want to be sure of that, because we've had situations where people had plans that didn't roll over, and the insurer made them reapply, and the insurer had sent the proper notice, but they didn't read it or didn't get it. And again, you don't want to dispute. You don't want to dispute. The last thing I want to mention for today is, if you're planning to move, you have to remember that this type of coverage is tied to your state of residence. And we've had many people who are former clients keep the coverage they had. They continued to pay premiums in a certain state for which they have no residence any longer. And we go through this with everyone, but when you have moved and no longer live in the service area, you are not eligible for that coverage. And to not be eligible gives the insurance company an opportunity to not pay your claims, which is the whole point of having healthcare coverage. So this is an area where you need to do your homework and don't procrastinate. Nothing good comes of that. All right. Thank you very much. And I hope you tell others to watch this video. It's very, very important for those in the individual insurance marketplace. And we'll be back to give you more updates. Thank you. Bye-bye.